Hey guys, welcome back. Let's continue to talk about one-step equations. This time we're going to talk about one-step equations with multiplication. So, let's get right into it. Let's start with 6x equals 48. Like we did before, you can probably figure out by asking yourself what number times 6 is going to be 48. Well, hopefully you guys know your times tables well enough to know that 6 times 8 is in fact 48. So if I plugged in, I shouldn't use the x here, I should use a more algebraic representation of multiplication so we don't get confused with the x up here. And if I were to plug, if I said x equals 8, and I plugged 8 back in, up here for x, it would in fact give us 48. But like we've done before in the last couple of lectures, we need to switch over to a more algebraic way of thinking about this. So 6x equals 48. So I can ask you again, like we did before, how do we undo multiplication? What's the opposite of multiplication? Well, it should be obvious to this point that the opposite of multiplication is division. So if I were to divide by 6, and I divide by 6 over here, as we know, we have to do the same thing to both sides, and I asked you, what is 6 divided by 6? You should know it's 1. So I have 1x left on this side, and 48 divided by 6 is 8. Now, one thing we need to keep in mind, and you'll see this more and more as we do algebra, that this 1 is always assumed next to the x. So x is the same thing as 1x. So in this equation, x equals 8. If we plug in 8 like we did before, yes, in fact, 6 times 8 is 48. Okay. Let's do one with a negative sign just to make sure we're on the same page and that we understand what's going on here. Let's do negative 7x equals 21. You might already know in your head that 7 times 3 is 21, so if we could extrapolate from that negative 7 times negative 3 is in fact 21. But let's again try to do it more algebraically. So if I divide both sides by negative 7, again, do the same thing to both sides before you do any kind of calculations. And negative 7 divided by negative 7 will leave you with just 1x, right? Because negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1. And 21 divided by negative 7, as we know from the last unit about dividing same and like signs, that this should be negative 3. And as we're becoming more proficient in algebra, we know we don't really need to leave that 1 there anymore. We know that 1x is the same as x. And the question is in fact negative 3 times negative 7 21? And the answer is yes. So that's the simple way to think about one-step equations with multiplication. In the next one, we're going to talk about one-step equations with division. Hope this helped. Thanks.